on the map. On that bird.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry LaFury for WCTV, along with John Francola, and tonight we're very proud to present the 69th Oscar F. Thompson Memorial Bergen County Jamboree Preview Show. So, John, we weren't here for 69 years, but we've done our share of doing some shows here. And we have the big one tonight. We have a preview show. We're going to preview the teams that made this tournament.
From 1951 on. I was only 9 years old then.
Yeah, but we're not doing that now.
I know.
So we're going to look at the preview. The committee members are here. We're going to introduce them to you. They've been working since, I would think, following basketball games, probably early December, but as a committee, they meet all year. It's a year-round project. They get together, they discuss it, they put a lot of time into it, a lot of effort, and they come up with a very good Jamboree setup. So let me introduce them to you. We'll talk a little bit to them, and then we give them the show, and they'll explain the 24 teams. To my immediate left, Paul Pugliese, old friend of WCTV, not that old, but old friend of WCTV. Next to him, Ed Crowmer. And next to him is Rookie Corcoran. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking time to come up here and give us the honor to preview this year's Jamboree and to explain the teams that are in, how they got in, their record, their coaches. So thank you so very much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
When you started this selection, you had to start on a Saturday because it snowed Sunday. I think everybody in the whole country knows it. Did it present challenges to you as you started this preview, picking these teams?
Well, the first challenge was we were supposed to meet on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting snowed out. So that was the first challenge because the cutoff was Saturday. So we give the coaches as much time as we can to play as many games as we can. And we were supposed to, and actually we were following games that were on Saturday at our meeting. Ed had his phone and was watching Lyndhurst and Old Japan.
From Fort Lee.
From Fort Lee. Game started at 5:30. We're watching the game. We're, having our meeting. But as it turned out, everything seemed to work out all right, and here we are.
And you've done this a long time, both as a coach and a committee member. What was the most challenging thing this year that you faced coming into the picking of the teams?
I would say the teams that we found in the middle of the bracket, there was so much equality across the board in terms of their performance, their record. So-and-so beat so-and-so, who beat so-and-so, and so forth. So you really have to kind of do a deep dive in terms of, the head-to-head, their opponents, the quality of their opponents. And then, certainly the bottom line is coming up with a consensus. There's 9 of us on the committee. And there's also 2 liaisons, one from the Big North and one from the NJIC.
Active coaches.
Ronnie Van Saters from Riverdale is the Big North rep, and Brian Koch from Park Ridge is the NJIC. So, we batted around, and I think, and I know Rookie mentioned even earlier here tonight, it's probably one of the longest meetings that I've been part of. And so we really did, I think, try to do a thorough job and serve all the coaches and all the teams the best way we possibly could.
And Rookie, same with you, the challenges similar, different? Because all of you got to look at it just a little bit differently, what you looking at it, what's going to be something that you want to address.
Well, this year, for the first time, there were no automatic qualifiers. So we were able to put together the best 24 teams that we could come up with. And as Ed said, there was a lot of the teams in the middle were the same, and they all played each other, they beat each other. So, some teams will, why are they ranked ahead of us? Because we beat them. Well, because you lost to 2 or 3 of their opponents that they beat. There's a lot of different metrics that we go through to find out all this stuff that we need to put together. And it was a little daunting this year, and it was a lot of fun, but it was pretty feisty meeting.
When I look at the NCAA coming up, the March Madness, they have 64 teams, and just recently we had the college football. It's very difficult to put these teams in. The last team in always says, I should have been in. The 65th team wants to be part of that group. The 13th team wanted to be in football. How difficult it is, for each one of you, give me your answer, how difficult it is to estimate these teams and strength of schedule?
Very, very difficult. The margins between the teams were very small. And, you know, if we talk about your example of the football, Miami gets in, Notre Dame does not. All year long, Notre Dame ahead of Miami, then Miami gets in, Notre Dame doesn't. It's really tough. And when we watch the football, or we watch the NCAAs, we hear the same stuff that we discuss within our meeting, and actually all year long, we talk about those things. The criteria, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things we could look at, you know, head-to-head, strength of schedule, all kinds of, you know. And what will happen is we will try to, and this is a word that they use now with the NCAA, is we will put brackets together, and then we will scrub the bracket. You scrub. You know what I mean? You go back and you look it over, and you know, we try to come up with the best we can. And as I have a tendency to say, the worst part about the job is telling teams who rightfully might be, you know, in the tournament, that you're not in the tournament. That's always the toughest part.
Ed, you want to add to that? The rookie step right in.
Well, again, I think as Paul mentioned, what we have to do is come to a consensus, and you come to a consensus through dialogue. And one of the other important parts of the criteria that we find ourselves using is the eye test, because as you've heard us say in previous years, we track so many games, so that by the time selection Saturday comes, you know, we have seen hundreds of games. The real advantage nowadays is so many of the games are on NFHS or on YouTube and so forth. So even though we find ourselves in gyms a lot of the time, you know, there are many of us that can spend equal amount of times catching a game, you know, the next day, the day after it's been played. So you don't need to be physically present in the gym all these times. But by the same token, you asked us before when this starts. I know both Rookie and I were at scrimmages this year. So we're at games right from the get-go. As soon as Thanksgiving ends, you know, we're turning our focus to getting into the gyms and seeing as many different teams as possible. And I'll say this, you know, Rookie, Joe Dionisio, Matt Stone, and Leon Steinberg are probably at the top of the list in terms of how many gyms they were in throughout the course of the season. And so again, we feel we've done justice when we come to the conclusion that we come to at the end of the night.
Rookie?
Well, like Ed said, you know, they can't complain that we didn't see them, because we did. Multiple games, multiple guys on the committee have seen the teams many, many times. And to Ed's point, I've been in so many gyms this year. I've been pulling splinters out of my butt for a long time. It's fun, but the eye test is a lot. It means a lot. You can evaluate teams. I like to go in. I like to just walk in the gym and look at kids, see how big they are, whether kids have size, whether the team is smaller than usual. And that's how we do a lot of evaluating. Then you get involved with all the other criteria that we do: strength of schedule, who you beat, who you had a tough loss against. It all combines, and then we get together and have a meeting of the minds.
I think, knowing you gentlemen over the years, one thing you have to say, you're totally prepared. We see you. I'll come to a game, and I saw you at one, I think it was a Westwood game. I run into Ed. People they go to a game, they're going to run into you. They're going to see you because you're at these games. So you are prepared to make these decisions. I'm not. I don't go to those games. I couldn't do that. I haven't seen how many games you guys have seen. So it's kind of difficult for me to sit back and say, oh, X team should be in when I didn't see them. I may have seen them once. And you don't get a look at the team, you see them once. They might have a good night, and they're good. Or they had a bad night, so it's not that good. I think you guys prepared.
And I do believe, Larry, to follow up on that point, that's what the coaches and certainly the athletic directors around the county, I think, respect more than anything else. They know that the time and efforts that's been put in. I know I mentioned it last year, and I can't go without mentioning it again this year. Paul does an absolutely tremendous job from an analytics standpoint of taking all of the information that we gather throughout the course of the year, who we've seen, what the scores are, what their records are, both in the division and overall record, what their PowerPoints are. So many different pieces of information so that when we do go into the meeting, if we are at a logjam, we have something else to fall back on, besides simply having been in the gym or, using a head-to-head. What are some other things that we can use? And Paul is an absolute genius when it comes to putting that stuff together.
These scientists, these physics teachers, they love numbers and they throw everything at you.
Well, the ultimate goal is to come up with a formula with all of the variables included, and you just plug in some numbers and you push the button on the calculator, and there's your answer.
AI is coming. AI is coming.
Maybe
One day AI will be there. Okay, Paul, the show is going to be you and Rookie as you count back the 24 teams that make up this year's Jamboree. You start at 24 and you come to 1. So, as I say all the time, the show's yours now.
Well, let's start with the changes from last year to this year.
Okay.
The NJIC, the Small School Conference, decided that for all their sports, they were going to go to what they call a relegation system. So based on last year, they realigned the leagues. So it isn't 100% exact, but some of the leagues would have had strong seasons over the last year, and some of the other teams maybe not so much. So with that in mind, we had since 1995, so for 30 years, we've had a criteria that if you won 65% of your games, you were in the Jamboree. So we couldn't do that this year because if you're in that top division of the NJIC, you're playing tougher games every single night. And if you're in the bottom division, maybe your schedule isn't quite as tough. So the BCCA asked us, and soccer and baseball, and what do you guys want to do? And we had several meetings about it, and we decided that this year the 650 mark will get you into either the Jamboree or the Joe Del Buono, BIT. And Joe's been around for a long time. Joe's done wonderful stuff, and rightfully so. Okay, so the top 40 teams of the 54 in the county that play boys basketball will get into one of those two tournaments. So that was a big difference, and Rookie hinted at it earlier when he said that we no longer then have the automatic qualifiers. So up until last year there was automatic qualifying. If you were 650, you automatically qualified, which made our job a little bit different. We had to, okay, these are the teams that are in. Now let's figure out who's going to be the at-large to fill in the other spots. This year, we didn't have a 650, okay? So without the automatic qualifiers, pretty much everything was open. Another thing that we've had going on for as long as we can remember, and again, the tournament goes back to 1951, was we had never had a team in the tournament that was under 500. Now, that wasn't a written rule. It just played out that way, that we didn't have. But this year, we had several teams that had an under 500 record that we considered as possible tournament participants. And it turns out that we do have one in the tournament this year that was under 500. So that was a big change from what we had done in the past. As far as going out and seeing games, Ed mentioned we saw hundreds of games. Because we're very unique in Bergen County compared to the other counties in New Jersey in that we have 54 teams that play boys basketball. and that's a lot of games, you know. So we feel pretty good that we did as much as we could, did our due diligence. You know, there's always going to be those teams that are going to feel slighted. We were, you know, they do it in the NCAA, they did it with football. We have it here that think they should be in, and we believe us that we looked at those teams, we compared, we did everything we could to try to figure out who's best, and now we're where we're at. You know.
And just to piggyback on Paul's point, what he does in his tracking statistics and analytics is we're about 2 weeks out from selection, and he will go through and he checks off which teams have been seen, and he'll come up and tell us we've got 4 or 5. It usually comes out each year. We've got a few teams that either we didn't think had been seen, and then so Paul will just put out a blast to the committee and say, listen, we need to see teams X, Y, and Z. And then when that happens, Rookie will say, oh, I did see them. But we want to be sure that we've seen everybody multiple times, not just a single time, but multiple times. And that's the way it turns out.
But that's an excellent thing you tell them. I mean, you guys, you go out there, you keep records, and you're seeing everything. I mean, how can you argue? I mean, you're going to argue to a point.
You want to answer the phone?
But I mean,
Send all calls. Send all calls to Frank Cole.
Forward calls to John Francola.
That's it.
John Francola. That's John.
1-800-FRANCOLA.
That's right.
One last point. That is what makes the Jamboree unique, is that we have retired coaches that go out and see teams, and they're the ones that put the tournament together. It is not active coaches, so there's no attitude in the room. It's let's go focus in on getting the top 24 teams in here, leave the egos at the door, and let's put this together and get the best teams. And I think we probably are the only one in the state that really does that. No other sport in the county has retired coaches picking the teams, and I think that's what makes us unique, and we feel it makes us really have the best tournament around.
Okay. 24.
Okay.
24.
So one rule that carried over was that we were going to have 24 teams. So in this Thursday, there will be 8 games. We used to have these 8 games at a neutral site, but the state has compressed our schedule. So what happens is the higher seed of these teams will host games on Thursday night. So that's going to be numbers 9 through 16 will host 17 through 24. And after Thursday night, those teams will move on. The teams that lose Thursday night will move to the BIT. So they're still going to be, even though they lost in the first round, they're still going to be involved in the tournament. So of our 24 teams, again, we have the Big North, which is the large school division, and we have the NJIC, which is the small school division. So when I mentioned Big North, you know, and NJIC, that's the small school, large schools. Okay, so number 24. Again, at this point in the meeting, we are really, I mean, they're going back and forth trying to make sure that we can justify. And out of the Big North Independence Division, we have the Fairlawn Cutters. So Fairlawn plays in this Independence Division. And this is interesting because the way things break down is Fairlawn is the only Bergen County team in that division. So all of their league games are against Passaic County schools. So when we look at Fairlawn, we have to also have an idea how good are those Passaic County schools that they're playing. Fairlawn was 6-5. They're in second place in that division. They had wins over 2 tournament teams, Riverdale, who's number 13, and Cliffside Park, who's number 17. This is the 16th appearance for the Cutters in the Jamboree. They have 11 wins in those 16 appearances. Their first appearance was 1958. They feature a very quick team. several guys can run the floor, several guys can handle the ball, several guys can shoot the ball. They're going to play number 9 Demarest at Demarest on Thursday night, and the winner of that game gets to go to play number 8 Northern Highlands on Saturday at 2:30. The Cutters are led by Coach, been there for doing a great job there for the last bunch of years, Kyle Sabella. We have some good players. I mean, Jonathan Zaror, Jaden Douglas, Daniel Jimenez, one of the best names in the tournament. Moxley Batantes, maybe, Batances. But they're, you look at these guys, they're very versatile. They can play different positions, and they run the floor real well. That's Fairlawn Cutters. Okay, next, number 23 is the Emerson Cavos. Now, the Emerson Cavos are coached by John Ziemba. And John Ziemba, a couple of years ago, was given the Bollerman Award, named after Howard Bollerman from Hackensack High School, which we have the honor of giving out every year to someone who has made contributions to boys basketball in Bergen County. And John does a fabulous job. John is a great coach. They are 14-1 overall, posting a pretty strong record. 5-1 in the NJIC American Division. Their only loss was to Elmwood Park. So they started the season with 7 wins, and they are now working on 7 wins in a row with that one in the middle that they lost to Elmwood Park. They feature John Piccarello, who's a fabulous player. He scored 1,000 points this year. He's 6'3", senior, who is he's one of those great players that I like, who let the game come to them. And when it comes to them, good things happen. He can play both ends of the floor. He can shoot the ball. He can take the ball inside. He's a really good player. Another one of their leading scorers is a young man named John Kennedy, who's a 6'1" junior. He can fill it up also. So they've got some weapons. And 14-1, it's hard to argue. That's pretty good. This is their 10th Jamboree appearance. And they will play Ramapo at Ramapo on Thursday. Ramapo's number 10. And the winner of that game gets to play Don Bosco on Saturday. We saw them play. Who did we see them play?
I saw
Mawa. Mawa was one of the games, a real good game.
I think Brooks seen him a couple times,
Yeah.
too.
Have?
And
And you mentioned the kid Piccarello. He's not only a 1,000-point scorer, he's one of the leading scorers in the county.
yeah,
And he's been there for starting for 3 years.
Yes.
yeah, real good player. And John Ziemba, John Ziemba's as good as it gets.
The best. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, number 22 is the Oltapan Golden Knights. They're in the Big North National Division. They're 8-6 in that division. And they started out real strong. They were 7-2. They beat Fairlawn and Ramsey, who are in the tournament. They also beat a strong Passaic team, North Bergen, Randolph, Hillside. A lot of these teams not around in this area, not in Bergen County, and the coaches go ahead and they try to get themselves the toughest schedule that they can. They feature a 1,000-point scorer, Isaac Schrager, who's a 6-foot senior. And another one of their scorers, David Brennan, is a 6'2" senior. And they're going to be solid, coached by Craig Ferraro, who's been doing a great job there for several years now. This is the 19th appearance for the Golden Knights in the Jamboree. And they will open up Thursday also against number 11 Dwight Englewood. Winner gets Hackensack.
That, by the way, is the only game this Thursday that's going to be played at 4:15, the Dwight Englewood Oltapan game. All the other 7 games will be played at 7 o'clock, as Paul mentions as he goes through these at the higher site.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Another perennial Jamboree team is Pascack Valley Panthers, coached by John Michael Santulli. You guys may be familiar with John Michael. He was over here at Westwood. Well, John Michael's got his team turned around. They had a tough start. They were 3-6 in their first 9 games, and it didn't look like they were going to be in the tournament. But they've turned it around. They won 6 of their last 8, and they've had some real good wins. They beat Riverdale and Old Japan, who are in the tournament. They beat Randolph Mawa. They feature Dante DaCosta, a 6'3" senior. Drew Kirkby, you may know the name Kirkby.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, dad and uncle. Strong basketball genes in that family. Drew's a 5'9" junior. And Eli Tenzer is one of their real good players. 6 foot.
Liam Higgins is their
senior.
top scorer.
Okay.
No, just
ahead.
throwing it out there.
I was going to get there, but go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know you had him down there. I didn't want to.
I got them all here.
I didn't want to slight poor Liam.
No.
His dad's a coach in the county, so I wanted to make sure there was a shout out to Higgins. So.
Liam is a 5'11" senior.
There you go.
They've got some scores, and as we said, that they've turned it around. So they've come on real strong. This is the 27th appearance for the Pascagoula Valley Panthers, and they've won 20 Jamboree games in history. That's a lot of games. They will play at number 12 Cresskill on Thursday, and the winner gets to go and play number 5 Ridgewood, the first game at Northern Highlands on Saturday. That's the Pascagoula Valley Panthers. Next is number 20, the Ridgefield Park Scarlets, coached by Chris Gaskin. Chris went to St. Francis in Pennsylvania, great school, produces a lot of great basketball people.
Do you know anyone that went there?
Pardon?
Do you know anyone that went there?
John Ryan, who's on our committee. John
true.
Ryan went there.
Chris Gaskin, coach of the
Chris
Ridgefield
Gaskin.
Park, which you just mentioned,
Yeah,
and the ever-present Paul Pugliese.
and I had the pleasure of
Paul
going there
Pugliese.
also.
Who's that, Paul?
Well before Chris was there, I was there. Okay, so the Ridgefield Park Scarlets are 13-2, and in first place in the Big North American Division. They've been playing really great basketball. They lost to Westwood in their first game, and then they won 5 in a row. Then they lost to Cliffside Park, and now they're on an 8-game win streak. So they only lost 2. After Tenafly, they have the 8, I think, is the longest win streak in the county after Tenafly. They've got a very athletic team. A lot of, they can switch screens. It doesn't really make much difference. They will be able to cover whoever they have to cover. Again, Chris does a great job. This is the 21st appearance in the Jamboree. They have 13 wins. They play number 13 Riverdale at number 13 Riverdale on Thursday, and the winner gets number 4 Teaneck at Northern Highlands on Saturday at 12:45. They got some size. Sebastian Caperson is 6'7". Nick Cartagena is 6'3". Cameron Hanna is 6'3". So they've got some size, but they're very athletic. They're not just big kids. They can get around. They can get up and down the floor. They're going to be a tough out. Okay, number 19 is the Waldwick Warriors out of the Liberty Division. By the way, these NJIC divisions now are new. The division names are not necessarily new, but who's in what division is new. And as I mentioned, that's based on the relegation. Waldwick had a good year last year, and in the Liberty Division, they're facing some pretty tough opponents. Waldwick is 11-4 and 5-2. They're in second place in that division. They have wins. They had a very nice win over Fairlawn, who's in the tournament. They split with a real tough Midland Park team. Waldwick features some big-time scorers, 2 big-time scorers. Andrew Del Rey is closing in on 2,000 points. And Antonio Miccinelli, 6'4", junior. Yeah. Antonio missed last year with an injury. But he has scored, I think he had 37. I mean, he's capable of scoring a whole ton of points himself. So they've got some real power, and they're playing for Greg McBain, the first-year coach. Greg was the girls' coach at Warwick for the last few years. I believe Greg is the biggest coach in the county at 6'11".
He and his dad, I think, side by
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
would form.
His dad's on the bench at 6'11".
Yeah.
Greg was in the Jamboree 3 years in a row. Made it to the semifinals his senior year.
Cliffside guy, right?
His dad is a Cliffside guy.
Hey,
Yep.
listen, got to mention that.
Kevin is a
Cliffside Park.
Cliffside guy. Kevin,
But Greg played for Coach Pugliese.
Greg played
At
for me.
Waldwick.
At Waldwick,
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
Okay,
you
so
gave him everything.
it's on here. No, it's not. Greg's got the boys playing real good basketball. As I said, they beat Fairlawn. They split with Midland Park. That was their. But when we looked at the teams, and I think Rookie mentioned before about tough losses, the number 2 team in the tournament is Tenafly. Waldwick played Tenafly over the holiday, and Waldwick led the game for 31 minutes and 55 seconds. The last 5 seconds.
How many minutes are there in a game?
32.
Okay, all right. Just make sure everybody knows that.
The last 5 seconds was the killer. Tenafly stepped up and made a last-second shot. So Waldwick had a tough loss against number 2 Tenafly. Waldwick also had a tough loss at number 12 Creskill, where they lost by 2 points. And Greg went out and played a tough Demarest team as an independent. And that's another thing we look at, who do you play on your independent games? We like to see the teams that are going to challenge themselves as opposed to teams who may look just to rack up wins. This is the 12th appearance for the Warriors. And on Thursday, they will play right here in Westwood against number 14, Westwood. And the winner will get number 3, St. Mary, on Saturday at Tenafly. Those are the Warriors. They were in the tournament 2022. So this is their first time in 3 years being in the tournament. Number 18 is the Lyndhurst Golden Bears under the tutelage of Perrin Mosca. Okay, they are very athletic. They will give whoever they play fits. They are 10-7, and they are 7-0 in first place in the NJIC Meadowlands division, which is a real good small school division. They're on a 3-game win streak. They feature a 1,000-point scorer. Can I look at it? Yes, Johnny Trename. They beat, recently they beat Old Tapan by 12 just this past Saturday. As I mentioned, very athletic, all court, going to be hard to cover them. This is the 17th appearance for the Golden Bears from Lyndhurst. And they were in the first Jamboree back in 1951. They're going to play number 16 Ramsey at Ramsey's court. And is that number 16? Is Ramsey 16 or 15?
15. You got it.
15.
You got it.
Okay. They're going to play Ramsey on Thursday. And the winner of that game is going to get Tenafly on Saturday at Tenafly, 12:45. That's the Lyndhurst Golden Bears.
And I think you mentioned Johnny. I believe Johnny was the athlete of the week just last week, if I'm not mistaken, which is a real nice honor for these kids.
Another 1,000-point scorer.
And Lyndhurst is another example of a team that played up. They challenged themselves. They picked up some really good, strong, independent games. And I think that's going to help them as the year progresses, particularly in the tournaments.
Okay, number 17. This is the last team that will be on the road Thursday night. That's the Cliffside Park Red Raiders, coached by Tom Mandiel.
Mandiel, you got it.
Tom Mandiel.
Who is also their head football coach.
They are 9-5. They are 2-1 in the Big North American Division. They have wins over Mawa and Ridgefield Park. They had a real tough overtime loss to Demarest by 3 points. They also had a tough loss to Creskill, and they had another one to Fairlawn. So they've played some real tough games against tournament teams and teams out of our area here. Isaiah Smith, one of their better players. Another name that jumps out from the history of basketball in the area is Tommy Calabrese.
Ooh, the Calabrese fan.
Calabrese, another 1,000-point scorer, and he's a junior. So he's still got a whole another rest of this season and next season to pad that 1,000 points. This is the 28th appearance for Cliffside in the tournament. Their first time in was 1961. They have 19 wins in the tournament. They are going to play at Glen Rock on Thursday, and the winner will play at Northern Highlands, play Saturday, and the benefit of winning that game is you get to play Bergen Catholic.
Thank you very much.
Okay? But to be honest, I always thought, I don't know what you guys think. I think we all kind of have a consensus here that one of the great things about the tournament is that you get to play on a big stage with a whole lot of fanfare and a whole lot of excitement, and you get to play great teams like Bergen Catholic. And I think if you go at it, which they will, they'll go after it as hard as they can, and then when the game is over, they're better for it. And sets himself up for the rest of the season and, of course, the state tournament. Okay, number 16, the Glen Rock Panthers are the first team now that will host the game Thursday night. They are 8-7 in the Colonial Division of the NJIC. Playing a very tough schedule. And Glen Rock's been a little up and down. I mean, they beat Ridgewood. What a win that was. We were at that game.
Yep.
They beat Pascack Valley. They beat Wayne Hills. They played real good games. They lost some games with close games. They lost to Dwight Englewood twice. They lost to St. Mary. They lost to Ramsey. Another good win for them was Park Ridge. They beat Park Ridge, who's a pretty good team. And their coach, Jason Middleman, does a great job. I mean, he's got those kids, playing good, solid basketball. They play hard on both ends of the court. They feature a point guard, Robert Lopez, who is one of the leading scorers in the county. And he can go to the basket. He had a real good year last year, too. He's a senior. They are hosting number 17, Cliffside Park. And the winner goes to Northern Highlands at 4:15. And as I mentioned about Cliffside, the winner gets to play Bergen Catholic. That's the Glen Rock Panthers.
Mentioned the kid Lopez. Rookie and I had the pleasure of seeing him play a week and a half, 2 weeks ago against Park Ridge, at Park Ridge. And the kid is just on fire in the first half. He must have hit 6 or 7 threes, unconscious threes. Sprained his ankle late in the game was a little worrisome, but I think he's back. I think he's back. He's back and ready. But he's one of those kind of shooters that when he gets going, there's no conscience in terms of shooting the ball, but it always kind of seems to have a way of filling the net.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's kind of where the game is going to. The game goes in that direction now for everybody. Okay, number 15, the Ramsey Rams, under the leadership of Mark Christensen, who's been there for a while and doing a great job with Ramsey. They are tied for first in the Big North Patriot Division. Ramsey got off to a great start. They won 9 of their first 11 games. They beat Pascack Valley, Glen Rock, Riverdale, Mawa, Indian Hills. I mean, they were rolling. They've hit a little bit of a tougher, a little tougher patch lately. The point guard is Julian Quinterly.
Two famous older brothers. Both one that played collegiately at Alabama.
Yeah, and he can handle the ball. He runs the show for them. They got a bunch of guys named Owen.
They do.
They got 3 guys named Owen.
3 guys. Go figure.
Who knew? Owen Farley and Charlie Taylor are 2 of their other scorers. Farley, 6'3" senior. Taylor's a 5'10" junior. It's the 19th appearance. for Ramsey in the tournament. The first time they were in was way back in 1954. They're going to host Lyndhurst on Thursday, and we talked about Lyndhurst. And the winner will play Tenafly on Saturday at Tenafly 12:45. Anything else you want to add since you're on the scoreboard?
Owen Farley is a fun player to watch, and again, he's another one of those streaky shooters. I mean, he can fill it up. And as far as Mark Christensen goes, he's a young coach, been the coach there for 5 years. His first 3 years, they won the division, they won the section, and one occasion they won the state. And he has had nothing but a good run. Last year, a little bit of bump, but now back in the above 500 and vying for another division championship. So Ramsey's fun, and I'm around him a little bit, so they're a fun team to watch.
Okay, number 14 is the Westwood Cardinals. They are 9-4 overall, 3-2, and they are in second place in the Big North Patriot Division. That's a real tough division. You'll hear me mention that several times. They have wins over Ridgefield Park, Indian Hills, and Ramsey. They have Saratelli brothers.
Two of them, yep.
Two of those guys. One's a freshman, the other one's a senior. Both about 6'1". R.J. Anacini. Okay. Another one of their featured players. And they have a great coach in Rob Karsich, another name out of the history of Bergen County, Karsich. And this is did I say the 15th appearance for the Westwood Cardinals? The last time was last year, 2024. They will play number 19 Waldwick on Thursday. They will host Waldwick. And the winner will get to play number 3 St. Mary and Tenafly at 4:15 on Saturday. Anything else about Westwood?
You're going through these teams. Westwood, Ramsey, and Riverdale are just a great example of what we talked about before about parity. These are 3 schools in the same division that just seem to kind of beat up on each other, and that's one of the key things about our committee is that you really have to look at comparing what they've done against each other, but then again common opponents, those kinds of things. So those are 3 good examples of what we face when we go selection.
And it's one of those situations where Westwood beat Ramsey, Ramsey beat Riverdale, Riverdale, beat Westwood. I mean, it's very difficult to discern when you're looking at teams that are that closely matched.
Yep.
And they play each other.
And they're all in the same league. Yeah, they all play each other.
That's when you do a deep dive into, all right, who did they play, who did they beat, who did they lose to, and you kind of mix and match. But you go down a bunch of criteria to seed these guys. That's what makes it fun.
And then one of the things that the difference between the Big North schedule and the NJIC, you'll see several NJIC divisions, they've already played each other a couple of times. The Big North, none of the teams that we have in our division, in any of the Big North divisions, have played each other more than once. They take their independents or their crossovers and they slot them kind of in the middle of their schedule. Danny Vivino, who you know is the primary schedule maker, and that's how he builds the schedule. So while teams that have to face Dwight Englewood or St. Mary's a couple of times in the NJIC, that's not the same in the Big North. They won't see them until after our tournament has started. So.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Number 13, the Riverdale Golden Hawks, coached by Ronnie Van Saders, who's one of the BCCA liaisons. As Ed mentioned, along with Brian Koch from Park Ridge, they come to our meeting and they oversee the meeting. They are representing all the coaches in the county by being there and watching, making sure that they're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. The Golden Hawks are 9-5 overall. They're 4-1 and in tied for first place in the Big North Patriot Division, which we just talked about. They won 6 of the last 7, including wins over Westwood, Mawa, Pascack Hills, and Passaic Valley. Ronnie does a great job. He just got a player back
Got a transfer mid-season, and he's made a whale of a difference. I think, as Paul mentioned, their season kind of turned around mid-year when this kid became eligible.
Some of their feature guys are David Nunez, 5'9" senior, Charlie Lepresti, 5'10" sophomore, Dario Lorenzo, 5'10" senior, and Ian Rossig, 6'1" sophomore. Again, another real tough team, well coached. You know, like a lot of these teams, you're going to have to really prepare to play them. This is the 22nd appearance for the Golden Hawks. They played in the tournament back in 1959, where they had a player maybe you heard of, Bill Parcells.
Name strikes a bell here.
Bill Parcells played for him. Who was the coach then?
I don't know.
Who was the coach?
Who was the coach?
Come on.
It was Mickey.
Mickey
It was
Corcoran.
Mickey Corcoran, Rookie's dad, the mentor of all of us. We all look up to Mickey. He was the mentor who coached Parcells there at Riverdale. They will host number 20 Ridgefield Park on Thursday. And the winner of that game will play number 4 Teaneck at Northern Highlands at 12:45 on Saturday. Quick shout out to one of my old buddies who's been on the bench there for a long time, Adam Fasandola. He's been an assistant coach at Riverdale for a long time. He does a really nice job supporting the Van Saders.
Good guy. Adam's
Good guy. Adam's a real good guy. Okay. Number 12, another perennial great team, is the Cresskill Cougars, coached by another great coach, Dan Agro. He does a wonderful job there. Is he the only one that wears a tie anymore today?
The only one I saw this
He
year.
might
The only
be,
one I
yeah.
saw this
He
year.
might
He
be.
dresses for the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's important. No, they are, like I said, first place in the NJIC Liberty Division at 14-1, 7-0. This is the 38th appearance for Cresskill in the tournament. 38 out of 69. That's not too bad. They have 27 Jamboree wins, which is the most by any Group 1 school. Their only loss this year was to number 2 Tenafly. So they've obviously done pretty well for themselves. They have wins over Cliffside. They beat Midland Park twice. They beat Waldwick. They opened with 8 straight wins, and they are currently on a 6-win streak. They feature, well, Cresskill always has solid fundamental players. You know, going back to Marty Rivard, who was a contemporary of mine way back when, and now to Danny Egaro. Their kids are going to play solid, fundamental, half-court, man-to-man defense. They're not going to make mistakes on offense. They're not going to take a lot of bad shots, if any. And they have a good group of players. Luke Kopinski.
Good luck with that. Go ahead.
Kopinski,
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
his name
great.
is.
Sounds great.
6'4" senior, who is very solid, and you know, like we had mentioned before about the Emerson fella, he's one of those guys that kind of lets the game come to him. But when it comes to him, good things are going to happen for the Cougars.
Good thing about Luke is, and I've seen him play a couple times this year, is you very rarely see kids play with their back to the basket these days to play the post. And he does that exceptionally well. Got a drop step, which you never hear about anymore these days. And just fun to watch. He's a real hard worker, just a man on the boards. And you know, people that get a chance to see him play this weekend are going to enjoy it.
Was he taught that, or did he just pick it up on his own?
Ooh, I'm pretty sure Mike Jabel probably taught him that on the bench, you know, from the bench.
don't see that.
Cresskill kids just kind of grow up with really good fundamentals.
Yeah.
It just shows year in and year out, and it's a credit to the rec coaches and who all pretty much came from the Marty Rivard family all the way down, and it's they're just fun to watch. They're kind of a throwback team.
Yeah.
And,
That's a good description, Rook.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I'm not sure I really like the game going up and down, and there's no post play anymore, and it's just raining threes.
Yeah, it's the way of the world.
I know. Just an aside with this Cresco team, I was watching, like, going over it. And you all know Bobby Maines. He stays with us.
Yeah.
Bobby's been to 100 games. He was
Yeah.
the first one to tell me about Cresco. He says, "Watch Cresco. Cresco is a good team.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to make the Jamboree. So they're winning." He said they got some good players there. And he's the first one to open my eyes to Cresco.
Yeah.
And I will shout out to him because I probably saw him at about 10 games. Of the 30 that I went to, he was at 10 of them.
Yeah, he makes 2 a day.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
He's probably watching now, clapping.
Okay, so number 12, Cresskill will host number 21, Pascack Valley on Thursday night. And the winner of that game gets number 5, Ridgewood at 11 o'clock on Saturday at Northern Highlands. Cresskill Cougars, always tough. Always tough. Number 11, the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. 9-6, they're 5-2, second place in a very strong NJIC Colonial Division. Again, the NJIC this year realigned, went to this relegation system. And
that is the top.
that's the top.
Division they're in is the top.
Colonial Division is the one that has the teams that, last year and previous years have been really strong teams. So that's a tough division. They're making their 22nd appearance in the Jamboree with 15 wins throughout history. And they beat Lyndhurst twice, Glen Rock twice, Patterson Charter, who's very good. And they feature the Stone brothers. Brody is a 5'8", ninth grader, and Dylan, one of the leading scorers. Dylan Stone is a 5'11" sophomore. Those guys we're going to be talking about them for quite a while. Probably their leading scorer is Leo Colosimo.
Nice name.
Okay, you all right with that one? Okay. Alex Kuchar is the coach over there, and he's got himself some good players. They will host Old Tapan this Thursday, and the winner gets to play Hackensack on Saturday at Tenafly. And they're a lot of fun to watch. They scoot all over the place, and they got a lot of kids who could score and a lot of kids who could shoot the ball. Alex got himself a pretty good team there.
2 shout-outs from that group. First of all, the Stone brothers' dad, Matt, is one of our committee members and does a great job.
The only time he shut up was at the meeting when we had to. We're not supposed. With a relationship like that, Matt
steps aside.
Basically
steps aside.
recuses
Yes.
himself. That's what we do. If there's that kind of a relationship, we will have the member of the committee recuse themselves.
And many of those wins that you mentioned, how many do they have in the tournament altogether?
They have 15 wins.
15, and many of those were under the tutelage of Tom Curry.
Tommy Curry.
Who is one of our former committee members and former athletic director at Dwight Englewood, and again, somebody that we still see a lot and enjoy reminiscing about those days.
Tommy Curry, Bergen Catholic, class of 1970, just throwing that out.
I remember him. He coached Inglewood. Did he coach Inglewood, Cliff?
Dwight Englewood.
Yeah.
Dwight Englewood. He coached Dwight Englewood.
Dwight Englewood. And he
Real
had-
good coach.
And his son played for him.
Well,
His son played,
and
his
then
son
his
is coaching.
son coached at Park Ridge, had a
Park Ridge.
great football run at Park Ridge.
Yeah.
He also coached hoops at Indian Hills for a couple of years. He's now the head boys coach at Sea Caucus,
Sea Caucus.
Yeah, I heard he went to Seacoast.
Still
Yeah.
which is where he teaches.
He teaches down here.
Yeah.
He also, Tom Curry. He was a real good player himself.
Yep.
Okay, number 10, the Rampo Raiders, 9-7 in the National Division of the Big North. Excuse me. They're on a 4-game win streak. Rampo's always great. The coach, Nick Veer, one of the great young coaches around. Just fun to watch him and fun to watch his team. One of the great things I like about Nick is focused on the kids. making sure they're doing the right thing on the court. There's not a lot of time that extraneous time spent talking or yelling or whatever to the officials. He's really just coaching. He's coaching the kids. On his bench, he's got Jim Ring, who was a great coach for many, many years over at Kennedy and Patterson. And their big guy, A.J. Grieg, right?
Is the player.
He's a player, 6'4", sophomore. What a future he's got.
Played a big part in their championship year last year.
Yep. Finn Mara, 6-foot junior, and Michael Moody, 6'1" senior, and another couple of real good scorers. Their athletic director, got a little shout out to Glenn Stokes, who's got a history in the county. Glenn, of course, was a 1,000-point scorer at Ramapo himself. And he is on the committee. Glenn's on our committee. Does a wonderful job for us. They play a very tough independent schedule. They always have. They have wins over Hudson Catholic, Westfield, South Plainfield, Ramsey, Riverdale, St. Joe's. They load up. I mean, besides their league schedule, which is real tough, there's no cupcakes on that schedule. They're always going to be that way. This is the 41st appearance of the Ramapo Raiders in the tournament, and they will host 14-1 Emerson. Going to have a solid senior coach, I will say, against a real good young coach. Mm-hmm. That should be a fun game to watch on Thursday night. Let's see. And the winner of that game gets to play number 7, Don Bosco, 11 o'clock at Tenafly. Looking forward to seeing that game.
That's the first game. Get right into it.
Yep.
I'll be there, bagel in hand, enjoying myself.
Bagel or bagels?
Well, for the first game, one.
Okay.
We'll see as the day goes on. One of the advantages of going to Tenafly is they got great bagels. But then again, that's the way it is in this whole New Jersey area. Okay, number 9 is the Demarest Norsemen. You don't get into the tournament unless you know what you're doing, and you don't. The only way you know what you're doing is you gotta have a real good coach, and Demarest has a real good coach, Pat Gabriel. He's a wonderful guy. You know what? He wears a jacket and a tie too.
He does, yeah.
We got 2 guys who.
Sorry, Pat.
We got 2 guys who wear jackets and ties.
Apologies, yeah, he does wear a
And
tie.
on his bench is another guy who used to wear a jacket and a
Not
tie
wearing
to
it
all the
anymore,
game.
though.
Is Eddie Renzio. Eddie Renzio last year received the Bollerman Award. He's assistant now at Demarest. Also, Brian Galinas is another former head coach who's an assistant at Demarest. So they got a real good brain trust there. They will be the highest seed to play Thursday, and they will play number 24 Fairlawn. They have wins over Westwood, Cliffside, Old Tappan, Waldwick, Pascack Valley. So Demarest is a really good program. Garrett Dorn, Julian Gorenstein, 2 real good players. They got a lot of good players, not just those 2 guys. They happen to be 2 of their leading scorers, but very fundamentally sound. Pat's a very innovative coach. They're going to run a lot of different stuff. Real hard to play against. Demarest did win the title in 1985, and maybe one of the greatest games in the history of the Jamboree, where they beat Rutherford in double overtime when both teams were undefeated. What a game that was. I had lucky enough to have been at that game. Fairlawn, Northern Highlands. The winner will play. They play Fairlawn, and the winner will play at Northern Highlands. Did I say
Against
that already?
Northern.
And they will play. Yeah, that's what I'm missing here.
Yeah.
They will play Northern Highlands at Northern Highlands. By the way, just to throw this out there, Tenafly and Northern Highlands for many years
2000, since 2000.
have hosted our round of 16. And the athletic directors there deserve a shout out. Joe Carollo at Tenafly, Mike Koth at Northern Highlands. They do a fabulous job for the tournament. I mean, they got everything in order. Everything's ready to go. They've alerted all the teams. It's just a pleasure to go to the game and know that you don't really have to worry about anything except watch the game, enjoy the game. They're really good. Those two guys hosting the games. Okay, now we move into the teams that are not playing on Thursday, which is the final 8. And we will start with the Northern Highlanders. Okay, they are 10-4, and they are in 3-0 in first place in the Freedom Division of the Big North. They will be making their 26th appearance in the Jamboree. Very strong team led by Jonathan Schmidt. Been doing a great job there for the last bunch of years.
Cliffside Park, Red.
Getting Highlands back into the top. And on his bench, he's got Mickey Hunt, who we all know was a great coach at Ramapo years ago.
Great help.
Yeah. They have wins over Wayne Hills, Ramapo, Ridgewood, Dwight Englewood, Paramus, Fairlawn. And their losses, which only 4, they lost to Don Bosco, North Collegiate, Tenafly, Hackensack. I mean, they've played a real tough schedule also, so they are well prepared for the tournament. They're going to be a real tough out. Probably one of their leading scorers is another great name, Pharaoh Dixon. Pharaoh Dixon.
Why do you look at him when you say his name?
Because he likes that.
He loves those names.
I love names. Come
John
on.
likes that, you know.
You gotta
I know
roll.
he.
What's the reaction from me?
Well, the reaction from John is usually for the paisans,
Yes.
the Italians,
No.
you know.
I go over it.
But Pharaoh Dixon, that sounds like a player,
That's a
and
player.
he is a player. He's 6'3" senior. Jeffrey Weinberger, another real good scorer for them, 5'11" senior, and they have.
Redhead. You see him. He comes out in the court. The redheaded kid that just shoots the 3.
Yeah.
He can shoot it.
Yeah, he can shoot it, and they have a freshman with a recently famous name,
Yep.
DePasupal, Logan DePasupal, whose brother lit it up for the last few years for Highlands. Just his freshman brother, who's 5'10", is following in his older brother's footsteps.
They are carbon copies of each other. The only difference is Logan is a lefty.
Yeah.
His brother is a righty. But their games are very similar.
Outstanding ball player,
Yeah.
Deepa. I remember him.
Yeah, he's a real good player.
Yes.
And again, Logan, as a freshman, he's playing a lot of varsity, so
Yep.
it must be pretty good. Again, they don't have a game this Thursday. They will play the winner of Demarest and Fairlawn, and they will play on Saturday at Northern Highlands at 2:30. Okay, now, the next team is the first team that we have had, at least as far as we can remember, in the tournament. That was the team that was under 500. We never had a rule that you couldn't get into the tournament under 500. And we always thought that it was going to take a really special situation to do that, and we do have that. Number 7 is the Don Bosco Ironman. And Don Bosco, obviously led by the great Kevin DeVario. I mean, what do you say about Kevin? He's just one of the best coaches in New Jersey, probably in the whole Northeast. Kevin does a great job. These guys have always played a very, very tough schedule. But, we had quite a bit of discussion about Don Bosco. And, again, if we're looking at who's the best 24, certainly Don Bosco is one of the best 24, even though they're 7-9 in their overall. They are 3-1 in their very difficult conference with Bergen Catholic, Paramus Catholic, St. Joe's, and DePaul, and they're 3-1 against those teams that are all, it's always tough.
I think they really benefited from the fact that we did not have any automatic qualifiers, because sometimes that stretches out the teams where you may not be able to look at them because you just don't have enough teams to get in. And they're good. We've seen them. They can play, and they have played a crazy schedule. Not their best team up at Bosco, but they can still play, and they can, watch them get into the semis and the finals. I wouldn't put it past them.
And the consensus was that even though at 7-9, somebody who doesn't know will say 7-9. How do you get into the tournament at all, let alone the 7th seed? Well, you do that because you are playing the best of the best. They lost to Teaneck. Then they lost to Rutgers Prep, Montgomery, Gill St. Bernard, Bergen Catholic, St. Peter's Prep, Paula Sixth. All of those teams are in top teams in New Jersey. This is the 48th appearance for the Ironmen, and they have 12 titles, which is, as far as I could tell, is tied with a couple other teams that are yet to come in this. Their big guy, 6'8", J.P. Skoric, he can shoot the three, he can go to the basket, he does that. Brad Brown, Camerson Cruz, two really good guards. I mean, I can go down the list. You could list all of these guys. They're all good,
I think Rookie said it hit the nail on the head. I don't think many people, anybody would be surprised if they got to the semifinals. And would you be surprised if they got all the way to the finals? I don't think you'd be surprised. You would be shocked.
Right.
Well, look,
I wouldn't want to play
it's a
them.
darn good team playing a very tough schedule.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there and you go through this. Would you say something like that? You look at this and say, this team has a chance to go to the finals even though they're under 500? And that's one of the main reasons you want to put them in?
It's because of the schedule they play.
Yeah.
Strength
Yeah.
of the schedule.
and seeing them play, yeah.
Well, they play, as Paul said, they play some of the top teams in the state, and they go nationally and play. Their holiday tournament this year was in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
There's
where
no
they played.
cupcakes, right? No
They can also be beat, though.
Yeah.
They can also be
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah. It makes it a
there's-
very interesting game
Oh, it
when they
does.
play.
Wouldn't want to play them.
No, that's a team you say, I think we could beat them, but I don't want to play them. I know what you're saying.
On their South Carolina trip, they played Frederick Douglass from New York, who's real strong. They beat James Island, South Carolina. They lost to Forsyth Country Day, South Carolina. Those are, teams they talk about nationally.
And he does that every year. Now,
Yeah.
the Deverio plays that schedule it's not something he just did this year. Every year he's playing a tough schedule from beginning to end.
They're going to play the winner of Ramapo Emerson at 11 o'clock at Tenafly. Okay, number 6, the Hackensack Comets, 10-7 overall, 3-1, tied for first place in the Freedom Division. They've been playing a lot better lately. They had a little bit of a tough start. They've got wins over Ramapo and Highlands as well as DePaul, Paramus, Passaic, Wayne Hills, all solid teams. Aaron Taylor does a great job with the Hackensack Comets. And one of the things Rookie, rightfully so, was talking about the way the game is played nowadays. Aaron has got these guys playing good basketball. I mean, they're setting screens for each other. They pass the ball to each other. It's not, one of those, whoever brings it up shoots it. They move the ball around. They're quality team and very, very well coached by Coach Taylor. David Wright, Marcos Estrada, Kadir May, Jamiko Smith, these guys, you'll hear these names. They're starters for Hackensack. This is the 52nd appearance for the Comets in the tournament. They are number 2 all time after Bergen Catholic for appearances, and they have won 9 titles. They've won 9 titles over the years. Hackensack's history in the tournament, all you got to do is, what's the name of the tournament? Oscar F. Thompson. Where's Oscar F. Thompson from? Hackensack. We give out the Howard Bollerman Award every year. Where was Howard Bollerman from? Hackensack. So, Gordon Whiting, the athletic director there, is steeped in the history of of Hackensack, and they do a wonderful job. They're going to play the winner of Altapan, Dwight Englewood, 2:30 at Tenafly. Watch out for the Hackensack Comets. They're coming on. Okay, number 5, the Ridgewood Maroons, coached by Mike Troy. Very, very successfully coached by Mike Troy. They are 12-3 overall, 3-1, tied for first place in that same division I just mentioned, the Freedom Division of the Big North. They've got wins over Ramsey, Pascack Valley, Hackensack. They've got 6 straight wins now. They're on a roll. Kennedy, Ramapo, Glen Ridge, Paramus, Fairlawn, and Wayne Hills, all tough games. They won all of those games. They're really playing well. Ethan Chung is their point guard. He is the lead. He is the distributor. He gets the ball to where it needs to be. Sebastian Rogers, a 6'7" junior. He's fun to watch. Andrew Barry, another 6'7" senior. And one of their tough guys that really sets the physical tone is a fellow named Don Bustamante. Can I look at John? Bustamante. Okay.
Very nice name.
So, and he's very physical, strong guy. Last year he was the running mate of Johnny Jackson. What a great story that was last year. Yeah, he and Don Bustamante were the backcourt last year, and Bustamante is leading the team this year. They will play the winner of Pascack Valley and Cresskill, and they will play at Northern Highlands on Saturday at 11 o'clock. And I have another note here. They were in the first Jamboree in 1951. They have 44 appearances with 3 titles, so this is their 45th time in the tournament. Well more than half of the tournament. Okay, now we're down to the top 4. Number 4, the Teaneck Highwaymen, coached very capably by Damon Wright. 13-2 overall, 4-1. They are second in the Big North National. They have wins over a very good Passaic team, Don Bosco, Phillipsburg, Wayne Valley, Ramapo, Pascack Valley, Demarest, Altapan. Yeah, they can play. They are very, very quick. But what I like is their big guys. Mateo Bensimon, 6'5", sophomore. Anthony Farrell, 6'3", senior. These big guys, they're fundamentally solid inside. They do the right things. They play good defense. They box out. They rebound the ball. And they have guards that just fly up and down the court, the best of which, Mikkel Taylor, he can shoot it from anywhere, score it from anywhere. And if you come out and deny him on the perimeter, he's going to the basket. He can fill it up. One of their losses was a fabulous game, one of the best games in years, a double overtime loss at Tenafly. And at the end of regulation, Teaneck hit a last-second shot to push it to overtime. At the end of the first overtime, Teaneck hit a last-second shot to push it to double overtime. And Teaneck somehow was able to prevail. What a great game, right?
Tenafly was able.
The Tenafly, sorry.
It was a great game. No apologies. But it was, I think it was, as they say on Sports Center all the time, it was an instant classic. No question.
Classic.
It was an
What a
instant
game.
classic.
And it's out there, too, if you want to watch it. It's on YouTube and such. This is Teaneck's 47th appearance, which ties them with Bergen Catholic and Don Bosco with 12 titles. So Bergen, Bosco, and Teaneck all won 12 titles. We'll see if that tie gets broken this year. Teaneck will play the winner of number 13, Riverdale, and number 20, Ridgefield Park. And when they play that game on Saturday, it will be at 12:45 at Northern Highlands. Teaneck Highwaymen. Okay, now, if we were talking parochials in this tournament, Bergen, Bosco, St. Joe's, Paramus Catholic. How about St. Mary's? The St. Mary Gales, number 3 this year. What a team that Brian Gassione, another great player in the history of Bergen County, Rutherford guy. St. Mary Gales are 15-3. They are 7-0 in that top division, Colonial Division, very tough. They have played an amazing non-conference schedule. They have played the top teams in New Jersey. They lost three games. Christian Brothers Academy, Gill St. Bernard, St. Peter's Prep. No, Seton Hall Prep. Sorry, Seton Hall Prep.
It's okay.
Got to read my abbreviations here. So CBA, Gill St. Bernard, Seton Hall Prep. Three pretty good teams.
Each of whom is in the top NJ.com's top 20.
Yeah. And that's who beat St. Mary. They feature another 1,000-point scorer, Matthew Kennedy, 6'3" senior. Another one of their great players is C.J. Brown, 6'5" junior. I think this is the first time they've been this high as a 3 seed, though. They beat Lyndhurst, Columbia, Patterson Catholic twice, Lyndhurst twice, Glen Rock, Dwight Englewood, St. Joe's, St. Benedict's, Union Catholic. What a team Brian's got down there. They are going to, this is the 27th time in the Jamboree. First time was 1953. And they are going to play the winner of Westwood and Waldwick at Tenafly at 4:15 on Saturday. St. Mary Gales.
Brian notched his 400th career coaching win this past season. So 400 is a pretty
good number.
Yep, pretty good number.
Their guard, Kennedy, is as good as anybody around. He can really, really play. Gets to the basket, can shoot it. Really exciting. Great player to watch.
Yeah, they're scary good, really, in the bottom line. So I think they can play with anybody throughout this draw.
Yeah, going to be great to see, to see the way things play out. Okay, number 2, the Tenafly Tigers, very capably led by Jeff Kohler. What a great job Jeff has done. How good is Tenafly? They're 14-0. 5-0 in the national division of the Big North. When I was listing the teams that they beat, I wrote down they beat everybody. They beat everybody. Just for giggles, they beat Cliffside Park, Riverdale, Waldwick, Lyndhurst, Old Tappan, Pascack Valley, Cresskill, Teaneck, Northern Highlands, Demrest, which is almost half of the field of the tournament. That's pretty good. Again, Jeff does a great job there. Aiden Goldschneider.
Correct, junior.
Junior, real good player, 6'1". Nick Lewin, 6-foot senior, real good player. Jeff has them doing what they, they're playing the best that they could play, all of their guys. Not just those guys I mentioned, but the rest of the squad. That game, I watched that game again, the second time that they beat Teaneck in double overtime. Whoa, what a game, what a game.
The thing about his roster is that he's got 4 of those 5 starters are kids that were starters last year. He's got a really experienced team. The 5th kid is a kid by the name of Jace Harris, who's their biggest kid at like 6'2", 6'3". And he had a career game against Teaneck. And, Paul mentioned all his wins. And Jeff, in true Jeff Kohler fashion, they weren't all easy. I mean, the game against Waldwick in the Garfield tournament, as Paul said, went right down to the last minute. They didn't play real well against Lyndhurst and managed to survive. They didn't play real well against Northern Highlands. They managed to survive. But again, a team that's 14-0, I think you just have to give them credit. They found a way to win in each one of those games.
And I guess you would know that this has got to be one of the best seasons in there.
Oh yeah,
60,
well it's
it
by far,
can't be better than 14-0.
By far their highest seed in the history
Number
of the
2
Jamboree.
seed.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
pretty good.
And one of their kids, Nick Baldini, seems to bring the team together, does a lot of dirty work that you don't notice, can shoot it, can get to the basket, and can rebound. And he just seems to come up with a big play when they need it. Good kid to watch, but they are a fun team to watch. And Goldschneider plays a lot bigger than 6'1". They're a good team. You're going to enjoy watching them play.
The Baldini kid is the heart and soul of the team. I think Rookie hit the nail on the head. He's a hard worker, and he is a blue collar. He's a blue collar.
6'2" senior.
Blue collar all the way.
And this is the 16th appearance in the tournament, going back to the second year of the tournament, 1952. They will play the winner of number 15 Ramsey and number 18 Lyndhurst at Tenafly at 12:45 in their newly renovated, beautiful new gym.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. They did a great job.
The Eugene Red Littler Gymnasium.
Well, okay.
Yeah, great name in the history of Bergen County. Okay, so that brings us down to the last one. I know Ida's ready to go to bed. Number one is the Bergen Catholic Crusaders. As Larry mentioned earlier, you spoke to their great coach, Billy Armstrong, and you asked him how good were they, and he said this might be the best team he ever had.
That's what he told me.
They are loaded. Julius Avent is their star, 6'8" senior. He scored 1,000 points. But boy, do they have a bunch of other guys. Alex Mazzella, Jaden Brown, Jaleel Owusu. They've got guys who could play. They got size. They can shoot it. They can go to the basket. They lost 2 games this year. One of them was to Coronado from Nevada. And another one was to Sidwell Friends from D.C. I happen to be watching the game. When I'm not watching high school, I'm watching basketball, college basketball. So I'm watching the game on ESPN, and they're talking about great schools, great high schools, and Sidwell Friends. They put guys into colleges, they put guys into the pros, and they beat Bergen in overtime. So, and again, Bergen beat everybody. They beat Bosco Joes, Hackensack, St. Peter's Prep, DePaul. They played 6 national games to start the season. This is the 57th appearance with, again, 12 titles. They won the Jamboree last year with a great game, 53-50, great game over St. Joe's. They're the team to beat.
They sure are.
Yeah.
They're the team to beat. And
Avent is signed to go to Michigan State.
He's going to go play for Izzo at Michigan State.
I think Izzo came to Bergen to sign him, talk to him. Izzo did
Yeah.
visit
Yeah.
Bergen Catholic.
And you remember the Avent name. His uncle, Anthony, was a player at Seton Hall back 20 or so years ago. Good player.
Great player. And the kid Masella, their point guard, is one of those pass-first point guards, which are kind of rare now. Quinterly from Ramsey is kind of similar. But he gives Bergen a little bit extra because he can pass the ball so well, and he finds the open man. Good to watch. Throwback, a little bit of a throwback point guard.
Mm-hmm. And just to wrap it up real quick, assistant coach Doug Eater, great player at Bergen, great player in the NCAA tournament. Got himself a bunch of commercials out of St. Peter's, right? But
Yeah.
when St. Peter's made a nice run a few years ago, Doug has decided to come back and help coach his alma mater. The Crusaders will play the winner of Cliffside and Glen Rock at 4:15 at Northern Highlands on Saturday. That's Saturday, this coming Saturday, January 31st.
So that's the 24th. Those are the 24 teams. And I think we have a bracket. Here they are. This is the 24 teams that Paul just went over. And Rookie, you got a reason why each one of these teams were selected and put into this Jamboree. You had total eyes open to watch these kids play. So you guys did a great job. You gave a great reasons why these teams should be in. This is the bracket that's going to be the first game on the 29th of January at the highest seed. Yeah, put it back up over there. So we have it here. We'll try to get it on our website somehow so you could see it. And then the winners there will move on. The losers will get into the BIT, correct?
The 8 losers will go get another game in the BIT, and they could move on and win the BIT.
And then then we have the 31st. We have the round of 16 at the 2 schools. That would be Tenafly and Northern Highlands. Here we are here again. Another graphic. See, Adi was working very hard. She didn't want to go home. These are the times: 11, 12:45, 2:30, and 4:15. Northern Highlands and Tenafly. So that was there. And then finally, FDU will host the quarterfinals on the 8th of February. The semifinals on the 15th, and the finals will be on the 20th. The championship game. Friday the 20th at the Pagoda Savings Center, Fairleigh Dickinson University, Hackensack, New Jersey. Great job. One more thing, Paul and the fellas. The money that comes in, it goes to a very special cause. You want to talk a little about where the money goes? The admissions?
Yes, the profits from the Jamboree go to the BCCA is we work for the BCCA, Bergen County Coaches Association, and the money goes to the Lou Lanzalata Scholarship Fund. Lou was a great friend, old friend of mine back in the day, and a wonderful member of the Bergen County Coaches Association. I want to just acknowledge our sponsors who have been very, very generous: Alliance Orthopedics, Performance, ETD, Discount Tire and Service, JAG Physical Therapy, Lifesavers, all right, buddy Bob Sticko over there, Parkwood Deli, Sports Time, Team Slow-Mo, The Record, WCTV, you guys are always great supporters, and Grant Street Cafe. All have donated to the cause, and what the Coach Association has been doing for years is they will give $500, at least it used to be, maybe even more now, I'm not sure, a $500 scholarship to a boys basketball player at each of the 54 high schools in Bergen County, which is a wonderful thing, and very proud to say, as I'm sure these guys are and the rest of our committee, that the Jamboree provides a bunch of that money for the scholarship fund.
Do a great job, and we'll mention that during the games, that how much you help outside the Jamboree, the money that comes in, it goes to worthy causes. It gets back to the kids, gets back to the teams, get back to the school. Want to thank you. You guys did a great job. Very
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thanks for having us.
Outstanding.
You know what? You could just sitting here listening, see the preparation that had to go into this. It is a labor of love, and you guys surely love the sport. You love the game, and thank you very much for putting this on. This is very, very difficult.
Thanks
you
for
put a lot
having
of time
us.
in
You
it.
guys are great.
Thanks for having us.
Can I do one more shout out?
Sure, you can.
Sure.
One more shout. Well.
Go ahead, as many as you want. We got no place to go until Thursday.
You do the Courage Award.
Sure. Last year, we were very fortunate, bittersweet, but very fortunate to give the first annual Kathy Pugliese Courage Award to Johnny Jackson. And I think the Johnny Jackson story has been well documented. And Paul's wife, Kathy, was the picture, the image of courage. Throughout the last 20 years of her life, she fought cancer 3 different times, beat it 2 of those times, and was just, a magnificent person to be around. Always up, always positive, and she was a great basketball fan. She loved the sport of basketball. She loved
Very opinionated basketball fan.
Yeah. So this year, we put it out through our liaisons, and we have a second recipient of the Kathy Pugliese Courage Award, and at the semifinals on February 15th at the campus of FDU, we will be honoring Dren Bauda from Pascack Hills High School. It was a similar story to Johnny Jackson, diagnosed with leukemia last spring. Battled it, would have been the starting quarterback for the Pascack Hills football team, would have been one of their key players on their basketball team. He's just recently been allowed back in school, just recently been allowed back around the basketball team. So we're very, very happy to be able to give the Kathy Pugliese Award yet again this Jamboree season.
That's fantastic. Yeah. You do a lot more than just play basketball.
Yeah.
You guys do a lot more than just play basketball. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. A lot of it we don't see, like the money that goes to the schools. You do something like this to honor people who are fighting. You give the Bollerman Award.
Yeah, the Bollerman, if I could mention the Bollerman, this year's Bollerman Award winner is a great coach for many, many years at Pascack Hills, Bob Simpson. We will give that award before the finals. And we are also going to honor the voice of the Jamboree.
Joe Hausman.
Joe Hausman is not going to be doing the tournament this year. He's staying home tending to his wife. And Joe, for 45 years, has been the voice of the Jamboree. When he's coming, right?
He is coming. He told me today, talked about the first game. I asked him, I said, just tell me a little bit about the first game. 1966, Ridgewood Bosco.
So actually, that's 60 years.
Well, there were a couple of times
Couple of
in
years
there
where we didn't have the tournament,
play. And that were those games at that time were held at Fairlawn High School.
Right.
And he was recruited by the great Virgil Sasso to do the public address for the Jamboree games, and that's what started it. We're gonna miss him.
We're gonna miss Joe. We're gonna
those
miss
are
those
impossible shoes to fill.
dulcet tones.
If God had
Joe.
a voice, it would be Joe Hausman.
Yep.
I love when he did football. He did it the same way he did basketball.
Yeah. Voice of the
Get
Jamboree.
AI, do something. For
right.
You can't replay. You can't match.
So
Joe.
when is he going to be coming?
We'll be doing both the Kathy Pugliese Award and the and honoring Joe Hausman during the semifinals.
Good.
We'll do the Courage Award before the first semifinal game, and then we'll do Joe Hausman before the second.
That'd be great. That'll be great. Well deserved. And well deserved.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so very much. We're very happy you're here. Very proud that we could put the preview show on to preview the 24 teams, and more important for me personally to see how much work you guys put into it. And there can't be any discussion. The amount of work that you go in, you did a great job, and now your rewards are to sit back and enjoy the fruits of those rewards of the work you put into it. So thank you all so very much, and I'll see you soon. We'll see.
Yes,
Well, man, I
you will.
won't see you because you have a previous engagement this weekend coming. You don't have to explain too much. We understand. It's a
I'll see
happy
you guys.
time.
You guys at the Tenafly Saturday, maybe.
Yeah, who's that?
Where?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tenafly Saturday. Yeah.
So we hope I'll see you guys around, and we thank you for always considering us to do these games. We appreciate it.
Outstanding.
Appreciate you
job.
guys.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Before we
Thanks
go,
for
we
having
want to thank all our crew that's here today.
yeah, great.
Emily, and we have Bob, Nick, Vince, Fred's here, and back of me is Paul and Ida and Ricky have been on the controls. Thank you so very much, folks. Couldn't do this without you. So for the entire group, Larry Fair with John Francola, go to the games. They're starting Thursday. Pick a team, go there, cheer your team on, support the team, and then catch the rest of the Jamboree. Say bye. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Friday, yeah.